So let's go ahead and see what AWS S3 is. We'll go to AWS Management Console, and then we'll walk through the various screens of AWS Management Console and also various features provided by AWS S3. Also, we'll upload files and objects in S3, and then we'll see how to host a static website using simple storage service. Well, this is the AWS Management Console. I hope you're familiar with it. You have already used AWS Management Console. Well, this is the AWS Management Console. You have to use your ID and password to log into AWS Management Console, and you'll see all these services. And S3 falls in the category of storage service. Now, if you see here in storage service, we have S3, we have EFS, which is Elastic File Store, we have Glacier, which is actually similar to S3, which is object level, but for archiving data, for archival storage, Glacier is used. Then we have Storage Gateway. We're not going to discuss about all these three. We will discuss only about S3 right now. So you can click on S3 from here, or you can find S3 here and click on it. It will take you to the S3 console. Now this is the old console provided by AWS. You can discover the new console also if you want. Click on it and it will take you to the new console of S3. It's a video which is provided by AWS. If you want, you can discover the new console also. So it will give you a walkthrough of the new console, what is there. Now, if you see, all these there are a lot of data already stored in S3, and these are the icons are similar to buckets, right? So the top level component of S3 is a bucket. You can think of bucket as a top level folder underneath of which you'll store data. You'll create multiple folders, or you'll upload objects or store binary objects, files, movies, documents, etc. So the top level component of S3 is a bucket. So you create a bucket and you store objects or files or pictures or movies or songs inside of that bucket, and then those things are called basically object. Now, as I said, there are multiple buckets already available here for Tetranodal. What I'll do is I'll create a new bucket. Now, each bucket has its unique namespace. That means whatever you create or store inside of a bucket is specific to that bucket only. You cannot access any object stored in a bucket from any other bucket. So let us go ahead and create a bucket. So the way you do it is click on create bucket, and then you have to give some name. Remember, the name has to be DNS compliant. DNS is domain name system, which is basically this one, if you will. This is also a domain name. The reason AWS S3 asks its bucket name to be domain DNS compliant, because the objects or the files which is stored inside of S3 or inside of a bucket are accessible over a domain name, are accessible over HTTP. That's why your bucket name has to be DNS compliant. So let us give it a name. We'll name it as Tetranodal Serverless bucket. Now, if you see, I have written this bucket name, but it is saying that bucket name must not contain uppercase characters and must start with a lowercase letter or number. It is giving an error actually. The reason is this is not DNS compliant. We do not have websites or DNS names or domain names with capital letters in between them. So I'll have to change it to Tetranodal, everything in small case, then the error would go away. So now the error has gone away. So Tetranodal Serverless bucket is the name of the bucket under which we'll upload objects or upload files, HTML files, pictures, movies, etc. Then you have to provide a region. Of course, you know what a region is. Region is nothing but a geographical location, and a region contains multiple data centers. Now, notice one thing: we are not selecting any AZ or availability zone for this region. Notice that we are not selecting any availability zone for S3. We are only selecting the region. So, how it is stored? I mean, you cannot store data in a region. You need data centers, which are actually availability zones or AZs. So that thing is taken care of by S3 by default. We do not have to do anything. We just select the region, and the whenever we upload a file, those files are uploaded to a data center. Which data center? I'll tell you shortly. So let us go ahead and select a region. Let's see, US is North Virginia. And if you want, you can copy settings from an existing bucket. I'll not do that. Then we have something called configure options. We have something called versioning, server access logging, permissions and stuff, which we'll discuss slowly. Let us go ahead and create the bucket right away. I'll not say anything and then create the bucket. So the bucket will be created now. So if we type tetranoodle serverless bucket, it has been created and it is not public. The access is not public. It is created in US East region, which is North Virginia. If you click on here, not on the bucket itself, it will give you some properties. It will show you some properties. So like versioning is disabled, MFA is disabled, logging, server, static web hosting, everything is disabled. Permission, we have not given any permission because we have not seen what we have inside of a bucket. So the same things will enable, and I'll show you how to enable these things and what are these things once we go inside of that bucket. Let us do that, shall we? So to go inside of a bucket, you click on this bucket, and right now I am inside of tetranoodle serverless bucket, and this bucket does not have anything. It is empty. The reason, because we have not uploaded anything. We can upload object, we set object properties, so on and so forth. So before uploading object, let us see what a bucket is and what we can do with a bucket.